tons of tempers boiling over, you know what would be a great thing to add? Boiling heat. The warehouse where most of the movie was filmed happened to lack air conditioning, and the summer weather of 1992 was breaking records. So when you see a nice sheen of moisture coating the actors in the finished film, that's not special effects, but rather real tangible anger sweat that lasted the duration of the 4-month shoot. To deal with all of this...
What the?
It is a legend no one will forget. Everyone thought King Koopa had left the Mushroom Kingdom, and then his doom ship attacked. King Koopa was back with the greatest danger ever known, his Koopa Kids. Using their new superpowers, the Super Mario Brothers rescued Princess Toadstool and beat back the evil Koopa family. I'll get those plumbers!
You ready for this? Well, we're back here again. Let's get to going. During the airing of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, there were only two mainline Mario games for the NES. One was the original Super Mario Bros., and the other being Super Mario Bros. 2, the US version. We didn't get the original Japanese version. But then 3 months later, after Super Show was created, a little movie known as The Wizard came out in December 15 of 1989. Here's the thing about The Wizard. I never saw it. Only reviews of it. And judging from these reviews, I'm not missing much. But anyways, The Wizard was a movie that didn't have much in terms of movie standards, except its sole purpose was to advertise Nintendo products, particularly all the NES gimmicks and games. And yes, even the Power Glove.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
You are correct, sir!
But there was also another thing that was advertised somewhere at the end of the movie. When that giant TV screen opened up, what was on the other side?
Super Mario Brothers 3!
That's right, baby! There's a 3 at the end! At the time, many people didn't think there was going to be a third game for Mario, but fast forward to February 12th of 1990 in North America, where we got that precious Mario 3. And with a third game in the series hitting big bucks, you know it's gotta have something with it, which leads to September 8 of that same year, where Super Mario Bros. 3 got their own cartoon show, and of course, made by the same studio that also made the Super Show. A little note I would like to bring up, this is me going in blind with this show. I've seen all the other 2 Mario cartoons, except this one, and hopefully I did a good job of explaining stuff that happens in this show. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first thing out of the way, this opening doesn't really hit it for me. After watching the Super Show opening multiple times throughout my entire life, I found this one to be a bit underwhelming. I mean, this feels like something used for a commercial to advertise the show, not the actual opening. I mean, it's not bad, but I feel like it could have been better.
I'll get those plumbers!
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that this show has no live action segments. A moment of silence, if you will. those two segments will be missed very dearly. Oh my, that got depressing. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about some of the changes. Well, first things first, all of the main characters, well except for Toad and Koopa, have completely different voice actors. And yeah, you can definitely notice the differences. While Mario and Luigi's voice actors kinda sound similar to the previous ones, you do notice they're trying a different take with the voices. You know, making it more Brooklyn accent than like New York Italian.
I really shouldn't go to the real world, Mario. I have a kingdom to run.
Doctor's orders, Princess. You're overworked, overtired.
Yeah, overdue for a vacation.
Right. Luigi and I can run the kingdom while you're gone.
But overall, it's pretty decent. And as for Princess Toadstool, she sounds a bit more softer. I'm not sure if it's just me, but she sounds a bit more softer than Super Show's. And there are moments where you couldn't really tell the difference, but if you play these two clips back to back, you start to notice something different. But whoever voiced Toadstool in this show did a really good job. Also, one thing I've noticed while looking through this show is that some of the characters, well, two in particular, look completely different than they were before. Like, for example, what happened to Mario? Like, did he eat like a poison mushroom in this adventure? Because he looks a lot more shorter than everybody else. I mean, yeah, I know he was short in Super Show, but he was like kind of bigger. I mean, he manages to keep up with Luigi's height, but Luigi's still taller than him. But here, he just grew tinier, like, he just like the same height as Luigi's neck. Like, he reaches Luigi's neck, and not in the middle or top, no, the bottom part of the neck. He's like the same height as Luigi's bottom part of the neck. Also, another example of completely different character design is Princess Toadstool. But unlike Mario's, which looks completely strange, Toadstool's design looks completely perfect because she is so beautiful. I mean, yeah, she was beautiful in Super Show, but here, she's like the most beautiful I've ever seen. But other than that, characters like Luigi, Toad, and Koopa look exactly how they were before, just with a few animation improvements. Also, another change I've noticed about this show is the world itself. In Super Show, each episode took place in made-up lands that don't look like they could exist in real life. Well, yes, they are ridiculous, but at least it shows how chaotic certain parts of the Mushroom Kingdom can be. Even though some of the lands in Super Show are a bit of copy and paste, but yet again, this is coming from a game series that does that a lot. But for this time around, the world in this show is basically the different types of lands that appear in the actual game. And yeah, even though it is kind of a downgrade compared to Super Show, since it shows less of the Mushroom Kingdom, it's a bit calmer with the worlds. I mean, after all, the many different worlds in Super Show can be a bit overwhelming at times, and people just want some consistency with the world building. But if that's not chaotic for you, well, there are times where the characters can travel to the real world. Let me repeat that. The characters can travel back to the real world. I'm not even kidding. That sort of thing actually does happen. I mean, did you know that the freaking Bowser's army tried to kidnap the president? Like, how did they come up with this stuff? So yeah, in this show, you get a combination of both the fantasy and real life worlds. Either I'm thinking about the crappy movie, or am I thinking about Super Mario Odyssey? I've noticed a pattern with Odyssey. But enough of that, it's time to address the 8 elephants in the room. Or, should I say, the newcomers that appear in this show. So with the new show, you expect to get some new characters, right?
Of course!
Well, we did get some of the new enemies that made their debut in the actual game, and there's also Boom Boom, but nobody cares about Boom Boom. And of course, we get the 8 stars of the villain show, the Koopalings. But they're referred to as the Koopa Kids in the show, but I'm still gonna call them the Koopalings because it just sounds better to me. The Koopalings are what you expect from them. They're mischievous, they all have some personality and designs to make them stand out from each other, and they're all the sons and daughters of the great Koopa King. At least, that's what they were before. Alrighty now, that I've addressed all of the different changes, now it's time to share the pros and cons of this show. Before I can express my gripes with this show, allow me to talk about the positives. Like I mentioned before, some of the new voice actors for the characters do a pretty decent job. Princess Toadstool's voice actress mostly.
Sure is nice not to worry about the Koopas for a while.
And while the worlds are a bit more restricted compared to the ones from Super Show, they do a very good job with what worlds they have for each episode. And of course, I can't ignore the music. Even though there are just remixes of the soundtrack from the game, there are really good remixes. And I like some of the new additions to Koopa's Army, although I forgot Boom Boom even existed. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the positives. And now, for the negatives. I know this is gonna surprise some of you, but I really couldn't come up with that much negatives about the show.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
But I still gotta mention the 2 problems that I have with it. The first one being, well, something that has been bugging me for years ever since I've heard about this one. Because, for some reason, I have this, trigger moment where I found out that the names of the Koopalings were completely changed for this show. Seriously, why did they change the names? Well, in case you didn't know, here are the names of the Koopalings. There's Cheatsy, Big Mouth, Cootie Pie, Hop, Bully, Hip, and Cookie. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, since Bowser and Peach were called Koopa and Toadstool back then, maybe this is their original names. Well, you may think that would be the case, except no, it was not! The Koopalings had their original names back in the games. There was no excuse on why they needed to change them. Or, maybe they didn't want to get into legal trouble since the Koopalings were named after music artists. So it's either that or, they just changed the names because, that's because they felt like it. I guess that might be the case, but I don't know. It's a 50-50% chance that it might be the case. And then we get to, well, my second problem, which is arguably my biggest problem with the show yet. You want to know what it is? Well, here it is.
You're a head-banded, sweat-banded, underhanded ninja man. A tough-talking, fast-walking.
Oh my god, these songs. These stupid songs that play during the climax in every single episode. I mean, I don't know what's up with these songs. Why do they play them in every single episode? They're not catchy, they are annoying. I can't stand them. And I feel like the Koopalings themselves made these songs. Because, you know, they're annoying the crap out of me. Oh, good job there, guys. You're doing exactly what you promised. Annoying the crap out of me. Like, imagine those songs playing in the actual games. You'll lose your mind, right? Well, yeah, because that's basically what happened to me whenever I listen to those songs. I lose my damn mind. God! I don't want to get mad. I don't want to get mad. Gotta be positive. Now, where was I? Wait, what? We're at the conclusion already? Huh, okay. Let's go to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, Super Mario Bros. 3, well, I didn't really grow up with this show like Super Show and the next show that we're going to talk about, but it makes me wonder why I didn't see it. It manages to offer more with the new characters and new worlds from the game, and overall, it's pretty solid. But the one thing that I can give this show credit for that earns my attention is that Princess Toadstool is at her best in this show. In my opinion, this is the best version of Princess Toadstool in terms of the cartoons. Like, the Toadstool from Super Show was pretty good, but this one is like the Super Show one, but even better.